Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. I know I'm like 11 days late, but still, you're welcome to a wonderful new year. I'm actually very psyched and excited about this year because of the many, many beautiful things that will happen. Yeah, you're welcome back to the Selfscape Pod. And, this is our first episode in 2025. And coincidentally, this month was the first month that we recorded and published an episode. If you can guess the very first day Selfscape was published, or guess the date that the very first episode was published. Yes, I want you to, without looking at, don't go and look at it. Be very honest. Leave it in the comments. Tell me the first date an episode was published on Selfscape Pod. We're going to be a year old sometime next week. I am excited. I'm actually very thrilled. Like, I've been doing this for a year. Wow, way to go. Woo. But yeah, when it comes to doing things consistently, I feel like I have some form of experience with that because of how I've been building, or by God's grace, God has been helping me build the Jesus Talks Media. And the Jesus Talks Media is going to be 5 years this year. So I'm just like, wow, Hadassah, you have built something for 5 years. That's interesting. Like, you people do not understand how interesting that is, because I never saw myself as somebody that will do something for 5 years. Like, so I'll be building something for 5 years. Like, that's not something I saw myself doing. I didn't see myself building the Jesus Talks Media, or very immersed now in the Christian music space, being an A&R intern, or even like working with artists, collaborating with them on projects, working with Christian organizations and stuff. That's not something I saw myself doing. That's not something I envisioned. If you had asked me 5 years ago, yeah, where would you be 5 years from now? I'll probably tell you that, like, maybe I'll have a job somewhere, but working somewhere or something. I'm currently working, obviously, but this is not something that I saw. And what I had envisioned for my life was completely different. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think I really had a vision for my life. Let me not even lie. Because 2020 was like COVID. And wow, guys, it's been 5 years since COVID. Like, wait, let's even pause everything I'm saying. It's been 5 years. How is time running by so fast? Was 2020 not just yesterday when we had to stay at home for like a year? Oh my goodness. Wow, time is really running. That's interesting. That's actually interesting. Back to what I was saying. I don't think I envisioned anything for myself. Let me be very, very honest. Because when I was in my final year in school, I didn't even know what I would be doing. I was studying biochemistry, and I already knew. Like, I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to use that certificate to do anything. Like, I wasn't going to work in that field. Mostly because what I really wanted to study was food biochemistry. And it wasn't something that we fully explored in my department. It wasn't something that was fully explored or that was offered as like a major course. Like, in my head, I was thinking, oh, maybe when I get to my second year or my third year, I would then fully transition into food biochemistry. But like, that didn't happen. So obviously, because the Nigerian education system, is it educational or education, whatever, the system is different, completely different from how it works in other countries or other working systems. So I was a bit disappointed, and then I just knew that, yeah, this definitely is something I will be doing. Maybe sometime later in the future, but I don't think so. Mostly because now I kind of have a sense of direction, and I kind of have a sense of vision for where I'm going, or what I am to do. And I know that I'm in that space. Maybe not fully immersed, or maybe not fully explored the space yet, but I'm there. I'm close to the space where I'm supposed to be in, and I'm okay with that. I'm content with where I am, and I'm thankful to God for a sense of direction, and for a sense of vision that I didn't have before. I'm thankful for everything I currently have, or where I currently am, what I'm currently doing, because this is not something that, again, I saw myself doing. Like, I didn't have a vision for it, and it's something I am enjoying, thriving in, loving. It's challenging, but it's been good to me, and it's been good for me, and I'm seeing that I'm making progress in a way, which is a good thing. So why did I come on so strong? Oh my goodness. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, you're welcome to Selfscape. This is where I share my thoughts, my opinions, unfiltered as they come to me. I use this place as a digital audio diary. It's an audio diary for me. for myself, but I just happen to be sharing it with a lot of you or with all of you at the same time. But yeah, this is where I share my thoughts. So everything that I say is fully how I think. Obviously, thoughts can evolve. I believe that people can grow and opinions can change. But in the moment that I share them, those are the things that I was in the moment that I shared them, that's what I was thinking, or that's where my mind was. And obviously, if my opinion about things have changed, I will try, if I do remember, because I am very forgetful. I'm not even going to pretend I did forget things. But if I do remember, I will come here to say, oh, remember when I said this? This is what I think about it now. Yeah. Today's episode is all about New Year resolutions and just the Fox proximity that the internet gives people. I know I have talked about Fox proximity before. I have talked about it. Yeah, I can't remember the episode, but I do know that I've talked about it, and I think that episode is titled Fox proximity. But I want to talk about it again because I feel like it really needs to be discussed with how society is decaying and just the moral decadence of people. I think this is something that needs to be addressed regularly. But yeah, let's start with New Year resolutions. So last year, I'm not sure. I can't remember now because again, I actually am forgetful. But I think I had resolutions. I think I had some resolutions. I think there were some things that I wanted to do or change. Let me tell you people, ladies and gents, I'm not sure that I did half of the things on my list in terms of resolutions. I'm not sure that I changed. I changed as a person. I grew in knowledge. I grew in wisdom. I became more mentally stable. Not like I was mentally unstable, but like, I don't think stable is the word. Mature is the word. I grew when it came to like being a better thinker, being a better observer, being a better communicator, communicating properly. Also accepting where I'm wrong, accepting criticism was hard for me. I think 2022 to accept criticism. 2022, 2023, yeah. I've also become very, very observant. I take my time to share my thoughts. I take my time to share my opinions. I like to collect them, think about them, dissect them in my head first before I share them. I think it works better that way because then I don't just speak out of turn. I say things that have been properly processed. Sometimes it fails me and my tongue is faster than my mind can process, but a lot of times I think about it first before I share it, which is a good thing. But in terms of, I don't want to procrastinate anymore. Maybe I want to write more. I want to start something or something. I didn't do those things. So you know what I decided this year? I decided that I wasn't going to do any New Year, New Me thing. I wasn't going to do any New Year resolution thing. Instead, I was going to list things that I wanted to achieve, goals that are very important to me, that are very important to my current position, career-wise, financially, maybe family-wise, maybe relationships with my friends and people that I care about and people that I know. If people are expecting to talk about relationship like it's a man, you're joking. I mean, that's the goal, but like, I don't think that's a goal that I want to itemize and say, I mean, maybe I do want to be in a relationship. Maybe I do. Why do I feel ashamed talking about it? Oh my goodness, how did I get here? Let's go back to where I was. Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. Relationships, like in terms of being with somebody, right? That would eventually lead to marriage. Because obviously I do want to get married. I just don't act like I do because I don't think that's, maybe that conversation is for another day. I think I have an episode about marriage and, just the pressure that comes with it and expectations. You should go and listen to it. It's called Marital Contemplations. And a lot of people agreed with me. So I know that we're in that space, that headspace together. Marriage is a good thing to aspire for or to aspire to. But I don't think that's like, I'm not desperate. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. If it comes, praise the Lord, hallelujah. But I'm not going to be desperate for marriage. Yes, I'm waiting for it. I'm praying about it. I'm thankful to God for it. But I will not be desperate for it. That's just what I'm trying to say. So back to what I was saying. So I have goals for things I want to do. First thing on my list, I want to learn how to drive. I do not know how to drive, which is a bad thing because I have talked about it so many times. Imagine there's an emergency that requires me to drive. How am I going to drive? For example, last year when I shared with you guys how my dad had this health scare and this health emergency, and that night we needed somebody to drive my dad had to drive himself to the clinic. Do you guys know how bad that is somebody that needed medical aid had to drive himself because I can't drive. My mom can't drive. My sister can't drive. My brother cannot drive. You guys, that's a bad thing. So my goal this year is actually to learn how to drive. I may eventually have to go to driving school because I don't think I know anybody here, that can teach me how to drive except my dad, and my dad obviously doesn't want to. So I will eventually have to go to driving school. And the reason I say he doesn't want to, because I asked him several times. I asked him before I finished uni. I asked him while I was in uni. I asked him after I finished uni. So trust me, I have asked several times. When I asked what I was in, he said, finish school first. When I asked after school, it's like, wait for a while. So I just know that this is not something that he wants to commit to. It's not a bad thing. I mean, he has committed to so many things that are more important, or that are important. Let me not say more, because driving is important to me. So I may have to go to driving school to learn how to drive. Another thing that I want to do this year is I want to get baptized. And this is very personal and very important to me because it's essential for my faith walk. Scripture emphasizes the importance of baptism, and it's a proclamation of my faith and of my acceptance of Jesus. I want to get baptized. I want to ensure that it gets done this year. I don't want to wait anymore. I wanted to do it last year. I didn't know how to go about it, but I'll figure it out this year and I must get baptized. Those are like the goals that I set for myself. So I don't really have a resolution to, obviously I want to be a better person. Obviously I want to get a better job. Obviously I want to earn more money. But those three things are more important to me than other things. And yes, I want to really build Jesus Talks Media. I want the vision to become much more, should I say evident? Is evident the word? There are things that I have seen about the company, and there are things that I know that should already be in works. And I want to ensure that those things are at least at initial stages. Like I have set the foundation for those things this year. I want to ensure that that's at least I have set the foundation. So yeah, those are the goals that I set for myself. I'm not doing New Year resolution because I feel like we will say, oh, I have New Year resolutions. I want to be this. I want to be that. I don't want to this, that. And then we don't create systems that enable us to achieve or to become these things, right? We just say it, but we don't really create systems that help us do it. And also for me personally, I realized that when I say things too much, like when I say, oh, I want to be this, that, I end up not doing them compared to when I keep those things very dear to my heart. But I believe that we talk too much. That's what I believe. And with New Year resolutions, it's almost always a lot of talk and less action. And so I don't think we should really have New Year resolutions per se. I think we should just have goals, or we should just have things that we want to do, things that are concrete, tangible things that we want to do. Oh yes, I want to build character this year. I want to be, and it's not just enough to have them or to write them down. It's more important to actually get them done. So I feel like instead of having that pressure of, I want to do like 10 things this year, maybe start with one. Pick one thing that you really want to get done. Like, do it economic style. Have a scale of preference and pick one thing that is really important to you that you really want to get done. I want to build character, and focus on building character the entire year. The thing I have learned with focusing on one thing is that as you focus on that thing and you build or work towards achieving that things, other things begin to fall into place, or you then begin to see the need to improve on other things and you begin to attach them and you begin to work on them as well, because you have laser focus now, because you're not everywhere, you're not scattered. So it's easier for clarity to come. It's easier for your vision to be redefined and for you to be able to work on several other things. New Year's resolutions, I don't think that's something that we should aspire for. Aspire for. I don't think that's something we should aim for. I think that's a great word. I feel like just have one proper solid goal, or maybe have 4 or maybe have 5. In terms of family, what do I want to see by the end of the year that is different? In terms of work, what are the things that I want to change? In terms of finance, do I want to save more? Do I want to be better at budgeting? Okay, how then can I get it done? Who are the people I can speak with? Who can I work with? Having a goal that you work towards is so much better than just having resolutions that you do nothing about. You just have a list of things you want to do. I don't want to procrastinate anymore. Then you still keep procrastinating. I think better say, I want to be better at time management. I think one of the things that happens when you procrastinate is you are not great at time management. Because if you get better at time management, I feel and I believe you procrastinate less because you know how to better manage your time. You procrastinate more because you think you have a lot of time. I will do it tomorrow, I have time. I will do it next tomorrow, I have time. Or I can do it later, there's still time. So if you are a better time manager, be able to allocate your time better to things that you need to do, you would understand urgency, you would understand priority, and you'll be able to function as a better, more productive person, as a better person, as a productive person. So I believe that instead of just having a list of resolutions, have a list of goals that you want to achieve and create systems that enable you to achieve them. Because it's not enough to just talk. You have to do, to create systems that enable you to achieve these goals. And that is essentially what I want to say about resolutions. So I don't have resolutions. I just have goals that are very important to me, that I want to be able to say, yes, I achieved these things this year. Obviously, I want to achieve other things. Obviously, I want to do other things, but these are my very important goals. These are like top priority to me. They mean the world to me. So now let's come to the Fox proximity thing that I was talking about. All through last year, I was just seeing a lot of vile. Even this year, what am I saying? This year, I have seen it as well. Vile moral decadence and just how did we get here? When did we become a people of hate and just so much disdain for people and for things? Are we so unhappy with ourselves that, we just sit behind our phones, behind our laptops or whatever it is that you use to connect with the internet, and you just pour out vile and so much anger on people that you haven't met? People that, to be very honest, if you see them in public, you probably will never be able to walk up to them to say hi. Not because they are bigger than you, better than you, richer than you, but because you just will not do that. You won't walk up to a stranger on the road and tell them that the way they are dressed is unappealing to you, that they should have worn red instead of black shirts. You won't do that because you can get slapped. Somebody can beat you on the road for talking to them anyhow. You don't know who they are. You don't know who their daddy is or their mommy. You don't know the kind of anger that they have in them. You don't even know if they are not angry people. But like, what I'm trying to say is, you will not walk up to an individual on the road and tell them that the braids that they did, you don't like the color. But you will sit behind your keyboard in your house or wherever it is that you are, and you will come on the internet and you would watch somebody's video, look at somebody's picture, and you tell them they're ugly, or you tell them that you don't like what they're wearing, or you tell them that you don't like how they made their stew. They should have made their stew this way. Can't you see that something is wrong with you? If nobody will tell you, I will tell you. There is something innately wrong with you. It sounds like I'm being like mean or something, but I'm not, because it's true. Somebody cannot share goodwill. Somebody cannot share, oh, I just got a job. Sharp. Somebody will go and text their boss and text their company to confirm if they got a job. What's that to you? Even if they are lying, it's not your job to do CIA investigative journalism. That should not be your prerogative. Somebody will share their relationship and you will look at the comments and they'll be saying, oh, she will cheat on you soon. He will cheat on you soon. It doesn't last. It will not. Like, where are our morals? I'm pretty sure our daddies and mommies raised us better than this. I am 1000% sure they raised us better than this. We're beginning to lose the essence of community. Morality is declining. We're beginning to lose the essence of empathy. People do not have empathy anymore. I get it, the country is hard, but the country is hard for everybody. You're not special. The country is not hard for just you, it's hard for everybody, but you have just decided to make it 10 times harder for other people. If you are promoting so much vileness, it speaks to a deeper issue within you. It speaks to the fact that you may be an unhappy person and you may be going through way worse. But it's nobody's fault that you're going through way worse. The people that you are belittling or the people that you're trying to make feel less seen or less of themselves, they didn't put you in the position that you are in. They have no say in your story. They have no contribution to your journey. They are not in your journey with you. Even if they are, still, I don't think it gives you the right to try to pull people down. And I'm saying this thing because I feel like we're going to see more of it this year. That's how I feel. And I think it's important for us, right? Because obviously, you can't really control how somebody speaks to you or how somebody talks to you or how somebody sees you to a certain degree. You can't control it. So I feel like it's our responsibility on the receiving end to protect ourselves. Because somebody's talking to me anyhow, the Holy Spirit will help me, or I will not talk back. The Holy Spirit is really working on me. The Holy Spirit will really help me not to talk back. And obviously, I can't see you, so I can't beat you. Because if I see you, it's on sight. God, please help me. You want to talk to me anyhow? That why? What? For what reason? Like, do I know you? But yeah, what I'm saying is, because we can't really do much, except maybe you block the person, that's like one of the best things to do. I feel like it will help for us to also keep a lot of things. Is somehow, I can't tell you what to do with your pictures, with your videos, with your good moments. I can't really tell you how to position yourself on socials, but I just think that you have to find a way to protect yourself. You have to find a way to create systems that protect you and that keep you sane. I have reduced my screen time more. I don't want anybody to make me angry. I don't want to see anything that will upset me. I reduce my screen time. I stop sharing things that make me very happy or things that I take pride in, like my work, like achievements, all those things. I don't share it on socials anymore. The only things that I share are like maybe books. I will talk more about books. You can't beat me for reading books. That's the dumbest thing that you can do. You insult me for reading books. You are dumb. You don't know how to read. That's why you're angry. So, we have to find ways to protect ourselves and to create boundaries, because these people they don't have boundaries, right? They don't have self-control. They lack self-control. They lack boundaries. They lack respect. They lack empathy. And it's up to you to protect yourself from all of that energy and to protect yourself from all of that bad character, and to find ways to keep yourself sane. Because the more you consume vileness, the more it takes roots in you. And you'll just be surprised one day how much of an effect that's had on you. I was listening to a podcast recently about an artist who was talking about how he was getting so much vile that it got to a point where he always felt the need to defend himself. When somebody says, "Oh, I heard this thing about you," he would then want to defend himself and say, "Oh, but that's not me. That's not who I am." That it got to a point where it was like, he always had to defend himself. And somebody very close to him was like, "You don't need to be doing that. Why are you so worked up? Why do you feel the need to defend yourself to people who do not know you? Why do you feel the need to always be in defense mode?" And he realized that a lot of that narrative was getting to him, and he was having low self-esteem. He was feeling bad about himself. He didn't think highly of himself. And so he had to remove himself from that space for a while. And then one of the things that he also did was use all of that to tell his story, but then at the same time also paying no attention to it. See, there's only so much you can take as a person. You get to a point in time, you'll be tired. You cannot take any more. So I think this Fox proximity thing, this idea that you know somebody or that you're close to somebody, so you go into somebody's DM and ask them why they haven't given birth to children, or when they're going to give birth to children, or when they're going to get married. Can you stop me on the road and ask me that kind of question? No, you can't. Because you know me. No. But because of Fox proximity, you feel like you can just speak to people anyhow, treat people anyhow, and think it's okay. And then when people react, you want to tell them how to react. You want to control their reactions. You then want to tell them to be the bigger person. Why? Why should they be the bigger person? Why didn't you be the bigger person from the start? So I think find ways to protect yourself on social media. Find ways to protect yourself on this internet. Create boundaries. Set boundaries. I don't know, things you share, how you communicate with people, what people can say to you, maybe screen time, platforms you're currently on, maybe places you shouldn't really be, how your timeline is created. My timeline is created, and the only time nonsense trickles in is maybe when it's trending. And there's sometimes when it's trending, it will still come to your timeline no matter what. And also sometimes maybe some people that I follow will bring it to my timeline. I try as much as possible to respect people I follow, but there's sometimes I just mute everybody involved because I don't want to see this. So a lot of things that trend, I don't see as much. I cannot be in that space. I don't want to hear nonsense. I don't want to see nonsense. I was raised with so much respect for people that, you can't do it to me. I will not take it. I will not take it. I think I have established that to an extent. There's some things you can't say to me online. I will not take it from you. No matter what, I won't. I think recently somebody sent me a message, an anonymous message. I was telling me how he wanted to marry me and my sister. at the same time. Like, I told him point blank, I don't know who the person is, but I told the person, I said, you are a mad person roaming the streets of Lagos and you are unaware. That was what I told them. And then they replied me and told me that why would I call them mad? That don't I know that mad people also deserve things? Do you see that some people are really sick and they are not okay? They are really sick, they are not okay, they are craving attention. It's just weird. It's wild at the same time, because it's like, well, how did we get here as a society, as a people? How did we get here? Why are we so angry, so full of rubbish? But yeah, that's basically everything I want to say. I think that this was more of a rant than a conversation. I'm sorry about that, but like, it's just, like I said, this is where I share my thoughts. So I mean, by now you should have gotten used to it. It's not, there is no fine tuning. There is no, everything here is me being honest and truthful and as authentic as I can be. And I think somebody reached out to me recently. I was like, why don't you record your podcast in a studio, using equipment, do this, that, and I'm like, that's not what my podcast is. This is, I woke up today, picked up my small lapel mic, and I wanted to share my thoughts. That's as honest and as authentic as I want to be with this podcast. I don't want to change anything, because I feel like if I do, then I'm not being true to myself. And so I told them, no, if you listen to the podcast more, you would understand why the podcast is the way it is, because I've reiterated it over and over again that this is a comfortable space for me. I don't want to change it. I don't want to make it uncomfortable. So no, I will not be doing any studio recording, anything. Maybe I will change my mind if I start to trend, if I blow. I don't know. But right now, it's currently serving its purpose in the way that it should. And I don't think I want to change it. So yeah, you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. So I will leave you guys, and I will be with you again sometime next week. Bye. Bye all.